Do I really need to explain Mario Kart? It's Mario Kart, the go-to multiplayer game on any Nintendo system, usually ending up as one of, if not the best-selling game on the console by a wide margin. When people buy a Switch, they walk out with 10 copies of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. That's the only rational explanation. It's absolutely insane to me how huge Mario Kart has become, selling more than the mainline Mario games, 2D or 3D, to the point where Nintendo has launched their next console alongside a brand new Mario Kart. And to think, it all started here. Super Mario Kart, as humble beginnings as a spin-off of one of the most recognizable video game characters of all time could be. Developed in about a year and released on August 27th, 1992 in Japan, September 1st, 1992 in North America, and January 21st, 1993 in Europe, this game was made to solve a problem. When the Super Nintendo Entertainment System released, the only racing game on it was F-Zero, where a whopping one person could play at a time, and Miyamoto wasn't happy. It was a slap in the face when the SNES came with 2 controller ports begging to be used. So he tasked directors Tadashi Sugiyama and Hideki Kono with making F-Zero for 2 players, which they quickly learned was impossible. Honestly guys, I just think F-Zero is cursed at this point. Sure, the SNES had some juice, but not enough to display 2 screens of the large F-Zero tracks simultaneously. So the tracks had to be more compactly designed, with twists and turns to offset the limitation, and at that point, the only vehicles that made sense to use were karts. Definitely gives off a more party vibe than futuristic Formula 1 race cars bursting into balls of flames at 400 kilometers an hour, even if I do think that's a good time. Initially, the game was just a proof of concept, featuring a bunch of nobodies until they realized they wanted the game to actually sell, and so slapped Mario onto it 4 months into development. Thus, Mario Kart was born out of hardware limitations, Nintendo giving up and adding Mario halfway through development, wonder how many times that happens, and as a direct contrast to F-Zero. One a hardcore futuristic high-speed racer for single players, and the other a casual kart racer meant to be enjoyed with others. Literally, they devote half of the screen estate to the second player that just turns into a map when playing alone. Let me preface. I have no attachment to this game whatsoever. I was a Double Dash baby yanking my mom around like a chain chomp with a Sonic plush in my arms. This is new territory for me, and among the pantheon of Mario Kart titles, Super is generally considered one of the weaker entries, because, well, it's the first. They didn't get everything correct right off the bat. Sometimes it takes a few more swings to hit a home run. So as a Mario Kart enjoyer and Double Dash apologist, I was expecting to mildly dislike it. You can see where this is going. Turns out, I think that Super Mario Kart is good, with a capital G and an asterisk. Okay, to explain, I'll start with something simple. Mario. He's in the game, glad he can make it. The first roster in the Mario Kart series has the essentials. Mario, Luigi, Peach, Bowser, Yoshi, Toad, Koopa Troopa, and... You know how in almost every Mario Kart game, there's the weird pick? Donkey Kong Jr. No, he's not DK, that's his son. No, he's not Cranky Kong, that's his father. Yes, this is confusing, and don't get me started on Mario Tennis! Junior is a remnant of the old DK era of 75 meters and math, and is here for exactly 3 reasons. 1, his white shirt made him easily identifiable from the rest of the cast. 2, it was his series' 10th anniversary. And 3, the DK we know today literally didn't exist yet. So they had to make do with Curious George here before they took him out back and... Now each character is grouped into a class. The brothers are the go-to all-arounders. Peach and Yoshi excel in acceleration but are hard to control. Bowser and DK Jr. are slow going but have the highest top speed and weight, easily knocking around the lighter but better handling Koopa Troopa and Toad. Side note, I love the little animations they do when you select them. They're so charming. Don't know what's going on with Koopa's eyes though. I guess I should take the wheel for him. Moving on to the main attraction of any Mario Kart, the Grand Prix. a gauntlet of 5 courses where the player receives points depending on their placement, which are then tallied up at the end, with the main goal being getting first. With 3 cups available at the start, the Mushroom, Flower, and Star Cups at 50 and 100cc. This is the main meat and potatoes of Super Mario Kart, where it all began, that good old Mario Kart gameplay. 8 racers, 5 laps this time, and iron boxes scattered across the track to ruin friendships. Unlike future games though, the iron balancing isn't crazy. Mushrooms, bananas, shells, and coins, that's pretty much all I see beyond the occasional star, lightning, and feather. An item that lets you jump. Even the red shell is at its weakest here, because it follows the target directly and not a set path on the track. Meaning, if your target goes behind a wall, the red shell's gonna slam right into it. Ultimately, these races come down to your skill rather than luck, and since the dreaded blue shell doesn't exist yet, I can rest easy in first place. Assuming I can stay there, because the first hurdle of Super Mario Kart rears its ugly head. The controls. Controlling Super Mario Kart is its own beast. I mean, the fact you have to press the A button to use an item when the B button is the gas was certainly a design choice. But that learning curve is nothing compared to the drift. Drifting in Mario Kart is one of the most important things to get right. Done by holding down one of the shoulder buttons, it's supposed to help you take tight turns. Operative word here being suppose. When drifting in Super Mario Kart, take everything that you knew before and bury it. Remember when I said you had to rely on skill? Scratch that. It's inconsistent. Sometimes it works, but others leaves me feeling like I'm slipping on ice. Except in the actual ice levels, what's with that? Pretty sure the terrain also affects drifting, and personally, it felt the best on Mario Circuit, Ghost Valley, and Bowser's Castle, and feels worse everywhere else. I just end up sliding out of control or into a wall. The best remedy I've found is to hop at the end of my turns to reset my direction, which sometimes works, or to just use the D-pad to take the turn. But holding down the D-pad for too long will cause me to spin out, which is supposed to incentivize me to use the drift. Again, operative word being supposed. It gets to a point where it may just be better to slow down to take the turn without drifting. Don't just take my word for it, even the developers admit that drifting was more of a PR move. You can technically be faster without it. However, I see the potential. When it works, it's so satisfying. Playing ahead to drift at the right moment to take turns flawlessly and resetting my movement by hopping at the end, that's when drifting clicks with me. When I get into this groove of constant drifting, hopping, and reorienting myself like I'm in the zone. But one wrong move and I'm thrown off the groove, which happens often. Still, the Grand Prix gave me enough time to practice and master Super Mario Kart's slippery controls. Koopa Troopa, also being one of the best handling characters in the game, definitely helped too. Except this one turn on Donut Plains, I don't get it. Something I can't get over though are the visuals. Real quick, let's just ignore the fact half the screen is gone because I'm lonely and just look at this game. Not ideal. Super Mario Kart utilizes the power of Mode 7! A graphics mode allowing the background to be scaled and rotated to create the illusion of 3D. It's quite the effect. Unfortunately, the rest of the game looks like a blurry mess in motion. F-Zero, which also uses Mode 7, doesn't have this problem because of how long the tracks are, compared to the constant twisting and turning in Super Mario Kart that can become disorienting, making it hard to dodge upcoming obstacles as everything is a blur until it's 3 feet in front of you. From falling off an edge or hitting a corner for being a pixel off, to obscuring these flat 2D ice blocks on Vanilla Lake's blinding white landscape, I cannot fault anyone for not liking this game on looks alone. I mean, it has its charm. It's got color. I appreciate that. The tracks themselves aren't anything exceptional either. At best, they're serviceable. At worst, they're Choco Island. This looks like crap. It doesn't help that there's only 8 track themes, meaning almost all are repeated twice, thrice, or even 4 Mario circuits? You had to one-up Bowser somehow, I guess, but like, seriously? They just end up blending together like, oh boy, another green one. filled with annoying stage hazards like the thwomps, pits of lava, Monty moles, though that is actually hilarious. And worst of all, water. H2, oh brother, this is worse than Lakitu, who sure does take his sweet time. But all of those issues are pedestrian to the real monsters of Super Mario Kart. The CPUs. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. They just cheat. Straight up. They'll get items out of nowhere regardless of what place they're in and spam them like there's no tomorrow. And depending on what character you choose, the game will give you a set of rivals to compete against. And I don't think I've hated specific characters like I do in this game. Luigi was my mortal enemy. Always right behind me, appearing in the rearview mirror, spamming that stupid star. I get it, Luigi, proud of you for coming out, but you just used one. How is this possible? Luigi and Mario have stars on them all the time, and the CPUs just get exclusive items you don't. Peach is trying to poison me, Bowser's trying to light me on fire, and even Yoshi wants me dead via airstrike. Good luck if he's right behind you, because that bomb screen is going to be stuck on loop of him trying to pelt you with his offspring. I don't get it, the CPUs just do stuff whenever they feel like it. What? My opponents aren't even on the same plane of existence as me. I'm competing against ghosts. Until I eventually hit them and suddenly, Mario, move. Mario, I'm not kidding, move, get out of the way, Mario. I'm losing a race, Mario, get out of the way! The more things change, the more they stay the same. And since the CPUs have set places in the race, no matter how much you hit the guy behind you, he will rubber band back because that's the way things are. All it takes is one mistake, one mishap to lose. The game itself is against me. The tracks, the controls, the CPUs. But that's what makes triumphing against them all the sweeter. Now just because I've learned to roll with the punches doesn't excuse them. This game is unfair. It's just I found some aspects about it to appreciate. The track design being so compact means races are short, with laps taking seconds. It becomes addicting to optimize the best route and hit turns perfectly to get the shortest time, screwing over the cheating CPUs with a taste of their own medicine and getting first place. I feel more involved in these races. It's always close, but never impossible, and that's what I think keeps me with the game through the frustration. At 100cc, the game is at its best. It's challenging, fast, but still gives me enough control over my vehicle. The life system also is a godsend, being able to retry if I didn't get first. The game just has this addicting arcade design to it. I can feel the quarters leaving my wallet as I play. The core gameplay is all here and only needed to be slightly iterated upon with each new entry, with better graphics and controls. One thing that did not age a day is the music. Composed by Soyo Oka, I love this soundtrack. Just listen to that main theme filled with so much energy. With bubbly tracks like Donut Plains, the frantic and ominous sounding Bowser's Castle and Ghost Valley, and Koopa Beach just has the vibes. What can I say, I love this guy. Each character even has their own ranking theme. I know that's like impossible nowadays with what, 50 characters? But it's such a nice detail to have. And man, do I miss these trophy ceremonies. They just gave Mario Kart more personality and really showed off how much better I am than everyone else. Super has even got the winners popping open a fresh bottle of champagne to celebrate. Unfortunately, censorship strikes as they just clang the balls together in the international version. But in Japan, Bowser is guzzling that down, and Peach straight up gets drunk. Important life lessons from Mario Kart. Drink after committing multiple traffic violations so they can't charge you with drunk driving. I had a grand time in the Grand Prix. Getting the gold in all the cups was tricky, but manageable, and doing so unlocked the final cup in 100cc, the Special Cup. And what makes it so special? I had to ask. Oh. Oh no. Rats! No! Why? Again? Huh? What? No! It's so simple. The least complicated Rainbow Road in the series. And it's still diabolical. You can fly off the track at any time. These pace-breaking thwomps are a pain to dodge. This shortcut straight up doesn't work half the time. And the rainbow pattern just melts in my brain like I'm tripping on acid. If the drifting was bad too, I would have called it quits. Thankfully, the life system saved me. I could retry the course if I failed, again, and again, and again. Because I needed first place to beat Luigi on his home turf. Some may say revenge is a dish best served cold, but in my opinion, a well-prepared dish of disaster tastes even better. The ultimate challenge of Super Mario Kart was behind me as the credits rolled. I'm good. Really, I'm fine. I don't need to play 150cc because there's no battle mode to talk about. Can you believe Miyamoto forgot about this mode? Yes, I can. Because it's kind of an afterthought. Battle mode is still fun because multiplayer, but it also exacerbates the game's worst issues. Navigating an arena compared to a linear course is a nightmare. It's hard to tell where your opponent even is half the time. At this point, screen peeking is mutually agreed upon, and if you can tell where your opponent is, congratulations, you've played this game more than I have. Because, what is that? Luigi? No, it's the shell you threw a minute ago, you idiot! Trying to direct yourself in any direction is a chore in these open areas, with the slippery drift, and especially when I found out at this exact moment, there's no reverse. So if you end up in this less than ideal situation, the only solution is to 150cc is brutal, and I am perfectly satisfied with not stepping anywhere near speedrunning. What are they pulling off here? Like I said before, Super Mario Kart is a game with issues, but I genuinely enjoyed it way more than I thought I would. It reminds me of those electric slot cars I had as a kid, where they would race around the track over and over and I had to slow down around turns in order not to fall off. Having a grand old time, then they would just stop and sit there. So I just wait and stare at them, pumping the gas until I gave up and took them off the track to check the guide pin under to make sure it's aligned properly, because it was before and it feels like the car got stuck there for what was no fault of my own. Then I'm back in the race and it's fun again! That's Super Mario Kart to me. The core gameplay still got the satisfying crunch to it, and the races being short and sweet helps a lot with the unfairness, as does the life system. It just reminds me that there's always something in the game for anybody, no matter the review scores or popular opinion. Plus, from here on out, there was nowhere to go but up. And then down. And then up again. And if I want to be controversial... Just kidding. Maybe. See you later.